But basically, the long and the short of it is, if we have cash, we spend it unless we're disciplined. He likens it to a tube of toothpaste in one part of the book. And it's kind of funny, it makes you laugh, but when you've got a new tube of toothpaste, you smear a massive amount on your toothbrush. You go, sweet, I've got a new tube. Look at the size of this thing. It's big and puffy, and you squeeze it. Massive big drop of toothpaste on your toothbrush, and away you go. And you might carry that on for a few nights, but as the toothpaste gets down, you start to go, oh, hang on a minute. I think I'm running out of toothpaste. So welcome to the Business Bloke podcast. Growing your business doesn't have to be hard. I am your host, Andrew Savage, a business and mindset coach with plenty of leadership tools and strategies to help you grow your life and business. Give yourself permission to get curious, lean in, and enjoy this episode. Hey, it's Sav here, the Business Bloke. I just want to pre-frame this episode by saying this is not financial advice. Anything I say on here is really just my experience and learnings. Cash flow. Businesses eat cash for breakfast. This is one of the trickiest topics and something that if we don't keep on top of can get away on us. Because cash is really the fuel that runs our business. If we have no cash, we have no business. Well, we don't have a long-term business anyway. I'd say cash flow is the number one reason that 50% of businesses don't make it past year one. There's a saying that says looking at budgets is planning where your money is going, and looking at your bank accounts is wondering where it all went. Managing cash flow is really about being proactive and disciplined and falling in love with looking at charts and falling in love with planning and navigating that cash flow piece. I read a book, and I'd recommend anyone listen to Profit First by Mike McMellowitz, and he's become a real mover and shaker in this cash flow space. But he's got some really cool stories in this book about our mindset around cash and how we view cash. But basically, the long and the short of it is, if we have cash, we spend it unless we're disciplined. He likens it to a tube of toothpaste in one part of the book. And it's kind of funny, it makes you laugh, but when you've got a new tube of toothpaste, you smear a massive amount on your toothbrush. You go, sweet, I've got a new tube. Look at the size of this thing. It's big and puffy, and you squeeze it. Massive big drop of toothpaste on your toothbrush, and away you go. And you might carry that on for a few nights, but as the toothpaste gets down, you start to go, oh, hang on a minute. I think I'm running out of toothpaste. So the portions that you use get smaller and smaller. And then what happens at the end? You're like squeezing every tiny little bit of toothpaste out. It's like, so you've got arthritis, I don't know. But people use all sorts of tools and techniques to get that last few grams of toothpaste out of the tube. And our bank accounts are like that. If our bank account looks like it's got heaps of cash in it, we seem to find ways to spend it. And it's not until we kind of get to the bottom and the nitty-gritty of a bank account that we start to go, holy smoke, we better not have that coffee this week, or whatever that may be. And he's dead right. That's just the same analogy. It's a really cool story. So what he does and what I do to manage that, and my system's a little bit different than the Mike McMellowitz Profit First, but it's about breaking up your bank accounts into different parts, or opening a variety of bank accounts that you can manage where the cash goes, so that your tube of toothpaste is managed from the very start. Because if you have that perception that you're at the bottom of the tube of toothpaste right from the very beginning, then you're really going to be careful about where that last little piece of toothpaste is coming from. And he does it, and I do it, by having a business operating account. So we have our first account is a business operating account, and in that account we keep akin to our monthly expenses. So we look at our rent, our power, our rates, our wages, what they are over the course of a month. Those ongoing costs, they stay in that bank account. And also to be mindful, out of that, in that bank account sits enough for your wage. So you should not be taking drawings, but actually drawing a salary from the business and not just taking money willy-nilly, so that you can manage that on an even basis. Straight away from that account, so all of your money goes into that business operating, and then out of that comes your taxes. So you're only leaving enough in the operating expense account for monthly expenses, and out of it is coming taxes. So take out what you need for tax. For us in our business, one of our businesses, we're paying GST, for example. So we take 10% out so that we have got GST covered. Have you ever heard of someone having a surprise tax bill? I mean, tax is no surprise, but people have surprise tax bills, surprise power bills, surprise water bills. It's surprising that there's so many surprises with all of these expenses. Yes, some of them may be a little bit bigger than we thought, but they're no surprise, especially if we've planned for them. So take out your tax, and then whatever's left after that can go into business profit and then your owner's personal account. So leave business profit, and then owner's personal account comes after that. And out of business profit, you can actually then also create another account called investment account. So in all, you have 5 accounts: your operating expense account, a taxes account, a business profit account, an investment account, which sits next to business profit, and your owner's personal account is basically the last cash that comes out of it. So I guess you'd equate that to drawings. And what it really does is it makes you start to really think, because if there is not enough money in your business operating account after splitting it all out, it really makes you start to dig deep. You go, wow, how come my business operating account has only got, $500 left in it after I've paid the wages and all of that type of thing? It makes you start to really analyze your business. And because it happens every week, you're analyzing it every week. So it's quite useful. You start to think, right, how can I cut back, or what can we do to make a little bit more cash? How's this going to work? And it's about being disciplined, because even though you've got all this money sitting in your tax account, that's the government's, right? You can't really touch it. So it does prevent that surprise down the track. It's a really powerful system to just make you really analyze your weekly operating expenses. The business profit account will just slowly build up. But even if you're struggling with your operating expenses, you can even just put 1% of money in that business profit account and just watch that grow each week, because 1% is insignificant in the whole scheme of things. But when you see that profit account start to grow, that also creates something in your mind to go, even though we're struggling with our operating expenses, we've still got this little bit of profit growing on the side, which is actually pretty cool. If you've got heaps of cash and operating expenses aren't really a problem, and you're banging heaps in that business profit account, it's from that you create your investment account. And that aim of that investment account is to invest in other things that make you money. And that is where you buy your, rental properties, or another commercial property, or some other thing that is going to create you money. So those things come out of that account. They never come out of your operating expense account. Operating expenses is only ever operating expenses. Your new Dodge Ram should not come from operating expenses. That would come from perhaps your investment holding account, if it is making you enough money. I saw some research that said that millionaires, they surveyed, I don't know how many millionaires it was, but out of all of those millionaires they surveyed, the average age of the vehicle they were driving was 5 years. That was the average age. So people are driving 15, 20-year-old cars, but not many are driving new Lamborghinis. So I thought that was quite interesting. So it's really, have a look at structuring your bank accounts, and maybe have a crack at Mike McMallowitz's Profit First. Have a listen to that. And also, I do have a free trial to Business Made Simple. I'll stick the link to that in the show notes, and jump on his course for 7 days and check out the Small Business Flow playbook. But just take this as non-financial advice, but my advice would be, have a look at how you could structure it, even if you only open 2 or 3 accounts, and make sure that you're not just lumping everything into one account, drawing your wage from it, buying your cars from it, taking all your food from it, sending the kids to school from it, just get curious about maybe how you could structure things. And yeah, fall in love with charts. Charts are awesome. And get involved in your finances. Don't just leave it all up to the bookkeeper and the accountant. Like, sneak on there and have a look. I'm really keen, I haven't done this yet, just to build a dashboard around this so that I can see this almost on a daily basis. Because I guess along with the mission statement that we talked about in episode 1, having a crystal clear lens on your financial goals and where you're sitting each day really helps you get out of bed in the morning and know what it's all about. This is the last of the series of 6 episodes. I really hope you've enjoyed them. I feel like strategizing your business is the thing that has really set me free. I'm just in the process of building a program that will help you grow your ag tech or agribusiness by 30% if you're someone who's selling and building ag tech products or in agribusiness. So if you're keen to join a waitlist for that, I'm creating a waitlist. So just reach out to me on TheBusinessBloke on Instagram or Andrew Savage on LinkedIn. And keep tuned because I have some pretty cool guests. I've got stuff coming up around values, needs and wants. We're going to extract our values. I'll talk to you about how to do that. Some awesome business stories from people who have been there and done that, and stories of resilience. So I really want this to be something of value, and I hope you're all out there getting amongst it, and we'll talk to you soon. If you've got this far, you've reached the end of the episode, or you've left your car running. I really hope you got something out of this episode of the Business Bloke podcast, and maybe you've got something to take away to apply to your own business. I'm a pretty friendly bloke, so you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, just look up Andrew Savage, or on Instagram, the handle is TheBusinessBloke. Thanks for listening, reach out, and we'll catch up with you soon. Good one. Cheers.